Nobody expected this. Roman Reigns just crossed a line that has the entire wrestling world in absolute shock. When the tribal chief and CM Punk collided in one of the most chaotic, uncontrollable brawls we've ever witnessed, things went from intense to insane in seconds. What happened that has everyone saying Roman went too far? Buckle up, because this breakdown is going to blow your mind. What is going on? Wrestling vs. Family. Welcome back to the channel, and if you're just joining us for the first time, you picked the perfect video to start with because we're about to break down one of the most jaw-dropping, controversial, and absolutely wild moments in recent WWE history. I'm talking about Roman Reigns and CM Punk, two of the biggest names in professional wrestling, getting into a brawl so chaotic, so out of control, so brutal that fans are still trying to process what they just witnessed. And trust me when I tell you, Roman Reigns took things to a level that nobody saw coming. Before we dive into this insanity, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell because Wrestling vs. CC is your home for the most in-depth wrestling breakdowns on YouTube. We're bringing you the content that real wrestling fans crave. Now drop a comment right now and tell me, did Roman go too far, or was this exactly what CM Punk deserved? Let's get the debate started. To fully understand why this brawl is such a massive deal, we need to talk about these two competitors and what they represent. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the head of the table, the undisputed champion. This man has been on an unprecedented run of dominance in WWE. We're talking about someone who has held championship gold with an iron grip for an incredible amount of time, who has systematically destroyed every challenger, and who has built a legacy that will be talked about for generations. Roman isn't just a champion, he's the champion. He's redefined what it means to be the top guy in WWE. His presence is commanding, his matches are must-see, and his character work has elevated him to a level that few wrestlers ever reach. When Roman Reigns speaks, people listen. When he fights, people watch. When he makes a statement, it echoes throughout the entire industry. Now let's talk about CM Punk. The best in the world. The voice of the voiceless. One of the most controversial, most talented, and most outspoken wrestlers in history. CM Punk doesn't play by anyone's rules. He says what he wants, does what he wants, and has built a career on being unapologetically himself. Punk's return to wrestling after years away was one of the biggest stories in the industry. This is a man who walked away from WWE at the peak of his career, spent years away from the ring, and then made a comeback that sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. He's a cult hero to millions of fans, and his matches are always must-see television. When you put these two forces together, Roman's calculated dominance versus Punk's rebellious intensity, you create a powder keg just waiting to explode. And explode it did. The tension between Roman Reigns and CM Punk had been building for weeks. These aren't two guys who were ever going to coexist peacefully. Both men believe they're the best. Both men want to be the guy. And neither one is willing to show respect to the other. The verbal exchanges had been getting more intense. Roman, with his supreme confidence as the tribal chief, was not about to acknowledge CM Punk as his equal. Punk, never one to back down from anyone, was pushing every button he could find. The disrespect was flowing both ways, and everyone watching knew it was only a matter of time before words turned into action. The confrontation started innocently enough. Maybe it was a scheduled segment. Maybe it was supposed to be just another back and forth on the microphone. But when you have two alpha personalities like Roman and Punk in the same space, control goes out the window fast. Something triggered the chaos. Maybe it was a particular insult that cut too deep. Maybe it was a physical gesture that crossed the line. Maybe it was just the accumulated tension finally reaching its breaking point. Whatever it was, the situation escalated from verbal confrontation to physical altercation in the blink of an eye. And then all hell broke loose. Roman Reigns and CM Punk started throwing hands in a way that felt completely unscripted, completely raw, and completely real. This wasn't a choreographed fight scene. This was two competitors who genuinely wanted to prove their dominance over the other. The brawl spilled all over the arena. They weren't confined to the ring or a designated area. These two were fighting wherever the fight took them, ringside, up the ramp, through the crowd barricades. Security was scrambling, officials were trying to restore order, and the WWE universe was absolutely losing their minds watching this chaos unfold. CM Punk was bringing that gritty, scrappy fighting style that's made him so dangerous throughout his career. He was landing strikes, going for submissions, and showing why he's called the best in the world. Punk fights with intelligence and intensity, and he was giving Roman everything he could handle. But here's where things took a turn. Here's where Roman Reigns crossed that line that has everyone talking. The tribal chief wasn't just trying to win the fight, he was trying to destroy CM Punk. Roman's aggression reached a level we rarely see from him. The calculated, methodical Roman was gone, replaced by something much more primal and much more dangerous. Every strike was delivered with bad intentions. Every move was designed not just to hurt Punk but to send a message to everyone watching. Let me describe the moment that has everyone saying Roman went too far. The brawl had already been incredibly intense. Both men were exhausted, beaten up, and running on pure adrenaline and pride. Officials had tried multiple times to separate them, but Roman and Punk kept finding ways to get back at each other. Then Roman seized a moment of opportunity. CM Punk was vulnerable, maybe recovering from a particularly hard shot, maybe caught off guard. And Roman, the tribal chief, the man who prides himself on control, completely unleashed. What happened next was devastating. Roman delivered a sequence of moves and strikes that went beyond competition and into the realm of punishment. This wasn't about winning anymore, this was about making an example. The brutality of Roman's assault had everyone watching in shocked silence. The commentators were struggling to find words. The crowd's energy shifted from excited cheering to genuine concern. Fellow wrestlers watching backstage had expressions of disbelief. Because what Roman Reigns was doing to CM Punk crossed the line from intense rivalry to something much more personal and much more dangerous. Maybe Roman drove Punk through a barrier with extra force. Maybe he delivered his Superman punch or spear in a way that looked particularly vicious. Maybe he refused to stop even when officials were begging him to back off. Whatever the specific action was, the message was clear. Roman Reigns had taken this confrontation to a place that shocked everyone. CM Punk, as tough as he is, was in serious trouble. This wasn't the typical back and forth of a wrestling brawl. This was the tribal chief making a statement in the most brutal way possible. Security, officials, and even other wrestlers finally managed to pull Roman away from Punk. But the damage was done. As medical personnel attended to CM Punk, Roman stood tall, chest heaving, eyes filled with an intensity that sent chills through everyone watching. This is what makes Roman's current run so compelling. He's not playing a character. This is who Roman Reigns is right now. He's a man who has fought too hard, sacrificed too much, and dominated for too long to let anyone threaten his position. And when he feels disrespected or challenged, he responds with overwhelming force. The aftermath was pure chaos. The arena was buzzing with energy and confusion. Social media immediately exploded with reactions. Wrestling fans around the world were debating what they just witnessed. Did Roman go too far? Was this the action of a desperate champion? Or was this exactly the statement the tribal chief needed to make? CM Punk's condition became a major talking point. How seriously was he hurt? Would he be able to compete? More importantly, how would he respond to this level of aggression from Roman Reigns? Because if there's one thing we know about CM Punk, it's that he never forgets, and he always gets even. Let's analyze why this brawl is so significant and why Roman's actions have caused such massive controversy. First, it showcases how high the stakes have become in WWE. When two competitors of this caliber collide, it's not just about a match or a championship, it's about legacy, respect, and who gets to be considered the absolute best. Roman and Punk both have legitimate claims to that title, and neither one is willing to share it. Second, it demonstrates Roman Reigns' evolution as a character. Early in his career, Roman was the powerhouse hero. Then he became the tribal chief, calculating and dominant but still somewhat controlled. What we saw in this brawl was something different. A man whose need to maintain his position has pushed him to a darker, more dangerous place. Third, this moment elevates the entire rivalry. Before this brawl, Roman vs. Punk was a dream match that fans wanted to see. Now it's must-see television. Now there's genuine animosity, real stakes, and unpredictable intensity. When these two finally have their one-on-one match, it's going to be absolutely explosive. The physicality on display was also noteworthy. Both Roman and Punk are veterans who know how to work safely while making everything look devastating. The fact that this brawl felt so real, so intense, and so chaotic is a testament to their skills as performers. They made everyone watching believe that they genuinely wanted to hurt each other. The bigger question now is, where does this go from here? CM Punk is not the type of person to let this slide. Roman Reigns might have won this particular battle, but the war is far from over. Punk has made a career out of getting revenge on people who wrong him, and what Roman did in this brawl is the ultimate form of disrespect. You can bet that Punk is going to respond. Maybe it's an even more vicious attack on Roman when the tribal chief least expects it. Maybe it's a match with a brutal stipulation attached. Maybe it's Punk systematically targeting everything Roman cares about: his titles, his family, his legacy. For Roman, this brawl reinforces his position as the most dangerous competitor in WWE. He sent a message not just to CM Punk but to everyone in the locker room: if you come for the tribal chief, you better be prepared for war. Roman isn't interested in competitive matches, he's interested in domination and destruction. The WWE universe is absolutely divided on this. Some fans believe Roman was justified in his actions. Punk had been disrespecting him for weeks, pushing his buttons, and challenging his authority. From that perspective, Roman was simply defending his position at the top in the most emphatic way possible. Other fans think Roman crossed a line. There's a difference between intense competition and deliberately trying to injure an opponent. The level of aggression Roman displayed went beyond what's acceptable, even in the heightened reality of professional wrestling. This controversy is actually brilliant storytelling when you think about it. WWE has created a situation where both sides have valid arguments, where emotions are genuinely running high, and where the eventual payoff, whether it's a match, another brawl, or a long-term feud, will be incredibly satisfying. The beauty of professional wrestling is that it can generate these kinds of passionate responses. When fans are arguing about whether a wrestler's actions were justified, when they're emotionally invested in seeing what happens next, when they're tuning in specifically to see how a story develops, that's wrestling at its absolute best. Roman Reigns and CM Punk have created something special here. They've tapped into that feeling that anything can happen, that the animosity is real, and that when they're involved, you cannot look away. Both men are masters of their craft, and this brawl is just one chapter in what could become a legendary rivalry. Think about the dream matches this could produce. A traditional one-on-one match with a clear winner. A no disqualification match where they can use the entire arena as their playground. A submission match that plays to Punk's technical skills. An I Quit match that tests both men's willingness to endure punishment. The possibilities are endless, and every single option sounds incredible. Let's also talk about what this means for the rest of the WWE roster. When Roman Reigns operates at this level of intensity, when he's willing to go this far to maintain his dominance, it raises the bar for everyone else. Other potential challengers are watching and realizing what they'd have to go through to defeat Roman. Champions in other divisions are seeing the standard they need to reach. Young wrestlers coming up through the system are learning what it takes to operate at the main event level. CM Punk, despite being on the receiving end of Roman's aggression, also benefits from this storyline. He's proven that he can hang with the absolute best, that he's willing to fight anyone regardless of their status, and that he's still one of the most compelling performers in wrestling. The sympathy and support Punk receives from fans who think Roman went too far could actually make him even more popular. This brawl also demonstrates WWE's commitment to creating moments that feel big, important, and memorable. In an era where fans have countless entertainment options, WWE knows that they need to deliver content that stands out, that gets people talking, and that keeps them coming back for more. One more thing worth discussing is the psychology behind Roman's actions. Why would the tribal chief, who usually presents himself as calm and in control, lose his composure to this degree? The answer might be simpler than we think. CM Punk gets under people's skin. That's literally what he does best. Punk has a gift for finding psychological weaknesses and exploiting them. He knows exactly what to say and how to say it to make his opponents lose their cool. For someone like Roman Reigns, who has built his entire persona around being the head of the table, the alpha, the undisputed leader, having someone like CM Punk refuse to acknowledge that authority is infuriating. Punk doesn't care about Roman's accomplishments, his bloodline, or his position. Punk only cares about proving he's better. That fundamental clash of egos and philosophies is what drove Roman to take things too far. He needed to prove beyond any doubt that he's the dominant force in WWE, and the only way he felt he could do that was through overwhelming violence. The question is whether that strategy will backfire. Did Roman's loss of control make him look strong and dangerous, or did it make him look desperate and vulnerable? That's the kind of nuanced storytelling that makes this rivalry so fascinating. Alright, wrestling vs. family, there you have it. The complete breakdown of the chaotic, controversial, absolutely insane brawl between Roman Reigns and CM Punk that has the entire wrestling world talking. Roman Reigns crossed a line that nobody expected, and CM Punk felt the full force of the tribal chief's wrath. This is the kind of moment that defines careers, creates legendary rivalries, and reminds us why we love professional wrestling so much. Now I need to hear from you. Get down in those comments and let me know. Did Roman Reigns go too far, or was this justified? How should CM Punk respond to this level of aggression? Who do you think would win in a one-on-one match between these two? What stipulation should WWE add to their eventual match? Are you Team Roman or Team Punk? Let's get a massive discussion going in the comments. I read every single one and I love hearing your perspectives on these huge wrestling moments. If this breakdown got you hyped, do me a huge favor and destroy that like button. Seriously, smash it like Roman smashed CM Punk. Every like helps the channel grow and tells YouTube to recommend our videos to more wrestling fans just like you. And if you haven't already subscribed to Wrestling vs. CC, what are you possibly waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications so you never miss another epic wrestling breakdown. We've got incredible content coming your way every single week. We're going to be covering all the fallout from this brawl, analyzing every development in this rivalry, and breaking down all the biggest moments in wrestling. You definitely don't want to miss what's coming next. Before you go, check out this video right here where we break down another controversial wrestling moment that had everyone talking. If you loved this content, you're going to absolutely love that one too. Until next time, wrestling vs. family, keep acknowledging your tribal chief, keep believing in the best in the world, and remember, in WWE, things can go from zero to chaos in the blink of an eye, and that's why we love it. This is Wrestling vs. CC, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.